rally's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the settled sun.
Where the place? Upon the heath.
There to meet with Macbeth.
Fair is foul and foul is fair. Hover through the fog and filthy air.
What bloody man is that? He can report as seemeth by his plight of the revolt, the newest state.
This is the sergeant, who like a good and hardy soldier fought gainst my captivity. Hail, brave friend. Say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it. Doubtful it stood, with two spit swimmers who do cling together and choke their heart. The merciless MacDonald, worthy to be a rebel, for to that the multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him. From the western isles of kerns and gallow glasses is supplied. And fortune, on his damned quarries smiling, showed like a rebel's whore. But all's too weak for brave Macbeth. Well does he deserve that name. Disdaining fortune, with his brandished steel which smoked with bloody execution, like Valor's minion carved out his passage till he faced the slave, which ne'er shook hands nor bade farewell to him, ere he unseamed him from the nave to the chops, and fixed his head upon our battlements.
Oh, valiant cousin, worthy gentleman.
But as whence the sun gins his reflection, shipwrecking storms and direful thunders break, so from that spring whence comfort seemed to come, discomfort swells. Mark, King of Scotland, mark! No sooner justice had, with valor armed, compelled these skipping kerns to trust their heels, when the Norwegian lord, surveying vantage, with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
What dismayed not this our captains, Macbeth and Banquo?
Oh, aye, as sparrows eagles for the hair of the lion. If I say sooth, I must report they were as cannons, or charged with double cracks, so they doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe, except they meant to bathe in reeking wounds, or memorize another Golgotha, I cannot tell. I am weak. My gashes cry for help.
So well thy words become me as thy wounds, they smack of honor both. Go, get him surgeons. Who comes here?
The worthy Thane of Ross.
God save the king.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where Norwegian banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict. Till that valiant Macbeth, lapped in proof, confronted him with self-comparisons, point against point, rebellious arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit. And to conclude, the victory fell on us!
Oh, great happiness!
That now Sweno, the Norway's king, craves composition, nor would we deign him burial of his men to leave his person at St. Colm's Inch $10,000 to our general use.
No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go, pronounce his present death, and with his former title, greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
and might. Give me, quoth I. Right thee, witch, the ruptured Runyon cried. Her husband's to a little god, master the tiger. But in a sieve I'll thither sail, and like a rat without a tail, I'll do, and I'll do.
I'll give thee a win.
Thou'rt kind.
And I another.
Oh, I myself have all the others. And the very ports they blow, all the quarters that they know, the shipman's card. I'll drain him dry as hay. Sleep shall neither night nor day hang upon his bedpost lid. He shall live, a man forbid. Weary senate's 9 times 9 shall he dwindle, peak and pine. Though his bark cannot be lost, yet it shall be tempest-tossed. A drum, Macbeth.com.
The Weird Sisters, hand in hand, posters of the sea and land, thus to go about, thrice to thine, and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up 9.
Peace, the charms wound up.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen. How far is it called, the forest? What are these? So withered, so wild in their attire, and look not like the inhabitants of the earth, and yet are on it. Live you? Or aught that man may question? I can see you understand me by each at once her choppy finger laying upon her skinny lip. Speak, if you can. What are you?
All hail Macbeth! Hail to thee, Thane of Glom!
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor. All hail Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, what do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? In the name of truth, are ye fantastical? With that which outwardly ye show. My noble partner, you greet with present grace, great prediction of royal having and noble hope that he seems wrapped withal. To me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time and tell which grain will grow and which will not, speak then unto me, who neither begs nor fears your favors nor your hate.
Hail!
Hail!
Hail! Lesser than Macbeth, and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier. Thou shalt get king, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail.
Say, you imperfect speakers, tell me more. By Sinel's death, I know I am Thane of Glom's. But how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you!
The earth hath bubbles, as the water does, and these are them.
Whither have they vanished?
Into the air, and what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Would they had stayed.
Were such things here as we do speak of? Or have we eaten of the insane root that takes reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king.
And Thane of Cawdor too, when it not so.
The self-same tune and words.
Who's there? The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success. And when he reads thy personal ventures in the rebels' fight, his wonders and his praises do contend which should be thine or his. Silence with that, in viewing o'er the rest of the self-same day, he finds thee in the stout Norwegian ranks, nothing afeard of what thyself didst make. Strange images of death, as thick as hail, came post with post, and every one did bear thy praises in his kingdom's great defense, and poured them down before him.
We are sent to give thee from our royal master thanks, only to herald thee into his sight, not pay thee.
And for an earnest of a greater honor, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor, in which addition, hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What? Can the devil speak true?
Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose. Whether he was combined with those of Norway, or did line the rebel with hidden help and vantage, or that with both he labored in his country's wrack, I know not. But treason's capital, confessed and proved, have overthrown him.
Glamis. And Thane of Cawdor, the greatest is behind. Thanks for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings, when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
That taken home might yet enkindle you to the throne, besides the Thane of Cawdor. But 'tis strange, and oftentimes to win us to our harms, the instruments of darkness tell us truths, win us over with honest trifles to betray us in deepest consequence. My cousins, a word, I pray you.
Two truths are told as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. But this supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me the earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion, whose horrid image doth unfix my hair, and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man, that function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not.
Look at how our partner's wrapped.
The chance will have me king. My chance may crown me without my stir.
New honors come upon them, as our strange garments. Cleave not into their mold, but with the aid of use.
Come what come may, time and the hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me your favor. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Let us toward the king. Think upon what hath chanced. And at more time, the interim having waited, let us speak our free hearts each to other.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough.
Is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they are not yet come back. But I have spoke with one that saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness pardon, and began a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him like believing it. He died as one who had been studied in his death to throw away the dearest thing he owed as 'twere a careless trifle.
There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. O worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now is heavy on me. Would thou hadst less deserved that the proportion both of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more is thy due than more than all can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your Highness's part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state, children and servants, which do but what they should by doing everything safe toward your love and honor.
Oh, welcome. I have begun to plant thee, and will labor to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, that hath no less deserved, and must be known no less to have done so, let me enfold thee and hold thee to mine heart.
There if I grow, the harvest is thy own.
My plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are the nearest, no, we will establish our estate upon our eldest,
Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland.
Hail, Prince of Cumberland!
Which honor shall not unaccompanied invest him only, but signs of nobleness like stars shall shine on all deservers. From hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you.
The rest is labor which is not used for you. I will be myself the harbinger and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down or else o'erleap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires.
True, worthy Banquo, he is full so valiant, and in his commendations I am fed. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him whose care has gone before to bid us welcome. It is a peerless kinsman.
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfectest reports they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air into which they vanished. Whilst I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me and referred me to the coming on of time with, "Hail, King that shalt be." This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart, and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shall be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou holily, wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. What is thy tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou art mad to say it. Is not thy master with him? Who, wert so, would have informed for preparation?
So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who, almost dead for breath, had scarce more than would make up his message.
Give him tending. She brings great news. The raven himself is hoarse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood. Stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breasts, and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and call thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen night sees not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold! Hold! Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both by the all-hail hereafter. Thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your hand, your eye, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
This guest of summer, the temple-haunting martlet doth approve by his loved masonry that the heaven's breast smells wooingly here.
See, our honored hostess. Herein I teach you how you shall bid God yield us for your pains and thank us for your trouble.
All our service in every point twice done, and then done double, we're poor and single business to contend against those honors deep and broad wherewith your majesty loads our house.
Where's the Thane of Cawdor? We coursed him at the heels and had a purpose to be his purveyor. But his great love, sharp as his spur, hath holp him to his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guest tonight.
Our servants ever have theirs, themselves, and what is theirs in count to make their audit at your highness's pleasure, feel to return to your own.
Give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surcease, success Oh, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here upon this bank and shoal of time, we jump the life to come. But in these cases we still have judgment here. That we but teach bloody instruction, which being taught, returns to plague the inventor. He's here in double trust. First as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off. And pity, like a naked newborn babe, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. How now, what news?
He has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has.
We shall proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which will be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since? And wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteem'st the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat in the attic?
Prithee, peace! I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums, and dashed the brains out had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail?
We fail. But screw your courage to the sticking place, and we'll not fail. When Duncan is asleep, where to the rather shall his hard day's journey soundly invite him? His two chamberlains, with wine and wassail, will I so convince, that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason a limbeck only. When in swinish sleep their drenched natures lies as in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Bring forth men, children only, for thy undaunted mettle should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber, and used their very daggers that they have done it?
Who dares receive it other, as we shall make our griefs and clamor roar upon his death?
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
There's husbandry in heaven. Her candles are all out. A heavy summons lies like lead upon me, and yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers, restrain in me the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose. Who's there?
A friend?
What, sir? not yet at rest. The king's abed. It hath been an unusual pleasure, and sent forth a great largesse to your office.
Being unprepared, our will became the servant to defect, which else should free have wrought?
All's well. Last night, I dreamt of the three weird sisters. To you, they have shown some truth.
I think not of them. Yet, when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
Of your kind pleasure.
If you shall cleave to my consent when 'tis, it shall make honor for you.
So I lose none in seeking to augment it, but still keep my bosom franchise and allegiance clear. I shall be counsel.
A good repose the while.
Thanks, sir. Like to you.
Go. Bid thy mistress, when my drink is ready, she strike upon the bell. Get thee to bed. Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee! I have thee not. And yet I see thee still. Art thou not, fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind? A false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee yet. In form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshalest me the way that I was going. And such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still. And on thy blade and dudgeon gouts of blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing! It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now o'er the one half world, nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Thou sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabouts, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. Whiles I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds too cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark! Peace. It was the owl that shrieked, the fatal bellman which gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their possets, whether death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die. Alack, I am afraid they have awaked and 'tis not done. The attempt and not the deed confounds us. Hark! I laid the daggers ready, he could not miss them. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I'd have done it. My husband!
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended?
I?
Hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Donalbain.
This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
This one did laugh in his sleep, and one cried murder that they did wake each other. I stood and heard them, but they did say their prayers and addressed them again to sleep.
There are two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and amen the other, as they had seen me with these hangmen's hands. Listening their fear, I could not say amen when they did say God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could not I pronounce amen? I had most need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought of after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice crying, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep. The innocent sleep. Sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care, the death of each day's life. Sore labor's bath, balm of hurt minds, great nature's second course, chief nourisher in life's feast.
What do you mean?
Still it cried, sleep no more to all the house. Glamis hath murdered sleep. And therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? My worthy Thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain-sickly of things. Go, get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hands. Why did you bring the daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go, carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I am afraid to think what I have done. Look on it again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose. Give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? How is't with me when every noise appalls me? What hands are here? They pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? No. This, my hand, will rather the multitudinous seas and carnadine, making the green one red.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. You're knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water cleans us of this deed. How easy it is then. Your constancy hath left you unattended. Hark, more knocking. Put on your nightgown lest occasion call us and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, 'twere best not know myself. Wake Duncan with thy knocking. I would thou couldst.
Here's a knocking indeed. Oh, if a man were porter of Hellgate, he should have all turning the key. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there in the name of Beelzebub? Faith! Here's a farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come and dine. Have napkins enough about you? Yeah, you'll sweat for it. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there in the name of the other devil's name? The Faith. Here's an equivocator who could swear in both the scales against either scale, who committed treason enough for God's sake, yet could not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? Hey, here's an English tailor, come hither for stealing up out of a French hose. Oh, come in, tailor. Here you may roast your goose. Knock, knock. Never quiet. What are you? Oh, this place is too cold for help. Oh, devil porter, no further. On.
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed, that you do lie so late?
Faith, sir, we were carousing till the second clock, and the drinks were the great provoker of three things.
And what three things the drink especially provoke?
There, sir. Loose painting, sleep, and urine. Lecheries, sir. It provokes. And it unprovokes. It provokes the desire, but it takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lechery. It makes them, and it mars them. It sets them on, and it takes them off. It persuades them, and it disheartens them. Makes them stand to, and not stand to. In conclusion, equivocates them in his sleep, and giving him the lie, leaves them.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night.
That he did, sir, in the very throat on me. But I requited him for his lie, and I think being too strong for him. He took up my legs sometime. Yet, I made a shift to catch him.
Is thy master stirring? Ah, knocking at the waiting. Here he comes.
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both. Is the king stirring, worthy thane?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely on him. I've almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring it to him.
I'll make so bold to call for. Is my limited servant.
Goes the king hence today?
He does. He did appoint so.
The night has been unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys were blown down, and, as they say, lamentings heard in the air, strange screams of death, and prophesying with accents terrible of dire combustion and confused events, new hatched the woeful time. Some say the earth was feverous and did shake.
'Twas a rough night.
My young remembrances cannot parallel a fellow to it.
Horror! Horror! Done no hearts cannot conceive nor name thee!
What's the matter?
Confusion! Now hath made his masterpiece! Most sacrilegious murder hath broke up the Lord's anointed temple and stole thence a light for the building!
What is to say, the life?
His majesty!
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with the new Gorgon. Do not bid me speak, see, and then speak yourselves! Awake! Awake, great killer of child murder and treason! Macklin, Tolobin, Malcolm, awake! Up and see the great king's image! Bacor and Malcolm! As from your graves rise up and walk like sprites to countenance this horror!
What's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of the house? Speak! Speak!
Oh, gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell. Banquo! Banquo, a royal master's murder.
Oh, alas! What, in our house?
Too cruel anywhere. Dear Duff, I prithee contradict thyself, and say it is not so.
Oh, had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time. For from this instant there's nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys. Renown and grace is dead. The wine of life is drawn, and the mere lees is left this vault to brag of.
What is amiss?
You are and do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's murdered.
Oh? By whom?
Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done it. Their hands and faces were all badged with blood. Some were their daggers, which on white we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was being trusted with them.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, tempered, and furious, loyal and neutral in an instant? No man. The expedition of my violent love outran the palser. Reason! Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood, and his gashed stabs looked like a breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. There the murderers, steeped in the colors of their trade, their daggers unmannerly breached with gore. Who could refrain that had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make his love known?
Help me hence. Oh!
Look to the lady.
Why do we hold our tongue that most may claim this argument for ours?
What should be spoken here? That our fate, hidden in an auger hole, should rush in and seize us? Let's away. Our tears are not yet brewed.
Nor our strong sorrow upon the foot of motion.
Look to the lady! And when we have our naked frailties hid that suffer an exposure, let us meet to question this most bloody piece of work to know it further. Our fears and scruples shake us. In the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the undivulged pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
And so do I.
So all!
Let's briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
Oh, contented. What will you do? Let's not consort with them. To show an unfelt sorrow is an office which the false man does easy. I'll to England.
To Ireland, I. Our separate fortunes should prove us both the safer. Where we are now, there are daggers in men's smiles. Near in blood, near bloody.
This murderous shaft that shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore to horse, and let us not be dainty of leave-taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft which steals itself when there's no mercy left.
Threescore-and-10 I can remember well, within the volume of which time I have seen hours dreadful and things strange. And so a night hath trifled former knowings.
Ah, good woman, thou seest the heavens as troubled as man's acts threatens his bloody stage. By the clock 'tis day, and yet dark night strangles the travelling lamp. Is night's predominance or day's shame that darkness does the face of earth and tomb, while living light should kiss it?
'Tis unnatural, even like the deed that's done. On Tuesday last, a falcon towering in her pride of place was by a mousing owl hawked at and killed.
And Duncan's horses, a thing most strange and certain, beauteous and swift, the minions of their race, turned wild in nature, broke their stalls, flung out, contending against obedience as they would make war with mankind.
'Tis said they ate each other.
They did so, to the amazement of mine eyes that looked upon it. Here comes the good Macduff. How goes the world, sir, now?
Why, see you not?
Is known who did this more than bloody deed?
Those that Macbeth hath slain.
Alack the day, what good could they pretend?
They were suborned. Malcolm and Donalbain, the king's two sons, are stolen away and fled, which puts upon them suspicion of the deed.
Gainst nature still! Thriftless ambition that will raven up thine own life's means. So then 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He's already named, and gone to Scone to be invested.
Where's Duncan's body?
Carried to Combekill, the sacred storehouse of his predecessors and guardian of their bones.
Will you to Scone?
No, cousin. I'll to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu! Lest our old robe sit easier than our new.
Farewell, woman.
God's benison go with you. And with those that would make good of bad and friends of foes.
Thou hast it now. King, Cawdor, Gloms, all as the weird women promised. And I fear thou playedst most foully for it. Yet it was said that it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. There be truth in them, as upon thee, Macbeth. Their speeches shine. By the verities laid upon thee, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope? But hush, no more.
Here's our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, it had been as a gap in our great feast, and all thing unbecoming.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are with the most indissoluble tie forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
We'd else decide your good advice, which still hath been both grave and prosperous in this day's council. But we'll talk tomorrow. Is it far you ride?
As far, my lord, as will fill the time twixt now and supper. Go my horse not the better. I must become a borrower of the night for a dark hour or twain.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their hearers with strange invention. But of that tomorrow, when therewithal we shall have cause of state craving us jointly. Hire your horse. Adieu. Till you return at night.
Aye, my good lord.
Goes Flance with you?
Aye, my good lord. Our time does call upon us.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night. To make society the sweeter welcome, we will keep ourselves till supper time alone. While then, God be with you. Sirrah, a word with you. Attend those men our pleasure.
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears and banquos dig deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. 'Tis much he dares. And to that dauntless temper of his mind he hath the wisdom that doth guide his valor to act in safety. There is none but he whose being I do fear. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him. Then, prophet-like, they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren scepter in my grip, thence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand. No son of mine succeeding. If before Banquo this year have I filed my line. For them, the gracious Duncan, have I murdered. Put rancors in the vessel of my peace only for them, and mine eternal jewel given to the common enemy of man to make them kings. The seeds of Banquo kings! Rather than so, come, fate into the list, and champion me to the utterance! Who's there? Now go to the door, and stay there till we call. Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please your highness.
Well then, now have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he in times past which held you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self.
You made it known to us?
I did so, and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go?
We are men, my liege.
Aye. In the catalogue ye go for men, as hounds and greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, curs, and demi-wolves are clept all by the name of dogs. And so of men. Now if you have a station in the file, none of the worst rank of manhood, say it, and I will put that business in your bosoms whose execution takes your enemy off, grapples you to the heart and love of us, who wear our health but sickly in his life, which in his death were perfect.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world hath so incensed that I am reckless when I do to spite the world.
And I another, so weary with disaster, tugged with fortune, that I would set my life on any chance to mend it or be rid on't.
Both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine. And in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life. And though I could with bare-faced power sweep him from my sight and bid my will avouch it, yet I must not. For certain friends that are both mine and his, whose loves I may not drop, but wail his fall, who I myself struck down. And thence it is that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons.
Shall my lord perform what you command us?
Though our lives
Your
should be...
spirits shine through you. Within this hour at most, I will advise you where to plant yourselves. Acquaint you with the perfect spy, the time, the moment on it. For it must be done tonight. And something from the palace. Always thought that I require clearness. And with him, to leave no rubs nor botches in the work, Flayance his son that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart, I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
I'll call upon you straight. It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
Is Banquo gone from court?
Aye, madam.
Say to the king I would attend his leisure for a few words. Naughts had, all spent. Where our desire is got without content. 'Tis safer to be that which we destroy than in destruction dwell in doubtful joy. How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone of sorrowest fancies your companions making? Using those thoughts which should indeed have died on them they think on. Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scorched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself, whilst our poor malice remains in danger of her former tooth. or let the frame of things disjoint. Both the worlds suffer, and we shall eat our meals in fear, and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Duncan's in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst. Nor steel, nor poison, malice, domestic, foreign levy, nothing can touch him further.
Good my lord, sleek o'er your rugged looks. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I, love. And so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence both with eye and tongue. Unsafe the while that we must lave our honors in these flattering streams, and make our faces visors to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife! Thou knowest that Banquo and his valiance lives?
But in them nature's copies not etern.
There's comfort yet. They are assailable. Then be thou jocund. Ere the bat hath flown his cloistered flight, ere to black Hecate summons the shard-born beetle with his drowsy hums, hath rung night's yawning peal, there shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come, sealing night. Scarf up the tender eye.
Pitiful day. With thy bright and invisible hand. Cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale.
Thou marvelest at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So prithee, go with me. But who did bid thee join with us?
Macbeth.
She needs not our mistrust, since she delivers our offices and what we have to do in the direction just.
And join with us. The west yet glimmers with some streaks of day. Now spurs the lated traveler apace to gain the timely inn, and near approaches the subject of our watch.
Give us a light here.
A light! A light!
'Tis he!
Stand to it!
It will be rain tonight.
Let it come down!
No treachery!
Fly, good Fleon! Fly, fly, fly! The mace is bad! Oh, fly!
There's but one down, the sun has fled!
We have lost the best half of our affair!
Well, let's be on our way and say what has been done.
You know your own degrees? Sit down. And first and last, a hearty welcome.
Thanks to your majesty.
Thanks to your majesty.
Thanks, Your Majesty.
Ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends. For my heart speaks they are welcome.
See, they encounter thee with their heart's thanks. Both sides are even. Here I'll sit in the midst. Be large in mirth. Then on we'll drink and measure the table round. There's blood on my face.
'Tis Banquo's then.
'Tis better thee without than he within. Is he dispatched?
Aye, my lord. His throat is cut. That I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats. Yet he's good that did the like for flayance. If thou didst it, thou art the nonpareil.
Most royal sir. Flayance is scaped.
And comes my fit again. I had else been perfect, but now I am cabined, cribbed, confined, bound into saucy doubts and fears. But Banquo's safe.
Aye, my lord. Safe in a ditch he bides, with 20 trenched gashes on his head, the least a death to nature.
Thanks for that. There the grown serpent lies. The worm that's fled hath nature that in time will venom breed. No teeth for the present. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. To feed were best at home, from thence the sauce to meat were ceremony. Meeting were bare without it.
Sweet remembrancer. Now, good digestion, wait on appetite, and health on both.
May it please your highness sit.
Here have we now our country's honor roofed, with a grace person of our Banquo present, who may I rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance.
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Please, your highness, grace us with your royal presence.
The table's full.
Here is a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What is that moves your highness?
Which of you have done this?
What, my lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me!
Gentles, arise, his highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often thus and hath been from his youth. Pray you keep seat. The fit is momentary. Upon a thought he will again be well. If much you note him, you shall offend him and extend his passion. Feed and regard him not. Are you a man?
Aye, and a bold one which dare look on that which might appall the devil.
Oh, proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. Oh, these flaws and starts would well become a woman's story at a winter's fire authorized by her granddam. Shame itself. Why do you make such faces? When all's done, you look but on a stool.
Prithee, see there. Behold, look! Lo, how say you? Why, if thou canst not, speak too! If charnel houses on our graves must send those that we bury back, our monument shall be the maws of kites!
What? Quite unmanned in folly.
If I did stand here, I saw him!
Fie for shame!
The time has been that when the brains were out, the man would die, and there an end. Now they rise again, 20 mortal murders on their crowns, and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all, then I'll sit down. Give me some wine. Fill full. I drink to the general joy of the whole table, and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss. Would he were here. To all in him we thirst, and all to all.
Our duties of the pledge.
Come on, and quit my sight. Let the earth hide thee. Thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold. Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with.
Think of this, good peers, but as a thing of custom. 'Tis no other. Only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
What man dare I dare? Approach thou like the rugged Russian bear, the armed rhinoceros or the Urkin tiger. Take any shape but that, and my firm nerves shall never tremble. Hence, horrible shadow, unreal mockery, hence! Why so? Being gone, I am a man again. Pray you sit still!
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good company with most admired disorder.
Can such things be and overcome us like a summer's cloud, without our special wonder? You make me strange, even to the disposition that I owe. When now I think you can behold such sights, and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks, when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Stand not upon your order of going, but go at once!
Good night. And better health attend his majesty.
Kind good night to all.
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move, and trees to speak. What is the night?
Almost at odds with morning, which is which.
How sayest thou that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send to him, sir?
I hear it, by the way, but I will send. There's not a one but in his house I keep a servant feed. I will tomorrow. And betimes I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know by the worst means the worst. I am in blood stepped in so far, that should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as go o'er. Strange things I have in head, which will to hand, which must be acted ere they may be scanned.
You lack the season of all natures. Sleep.
Come, will to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet but young indeed.
My former speeches have but hit your thoughts, which can interpret farther. Only I say that things have been strangely born. The gracious Duncan was pitied of Macbeth. Mary, he was dead. And the right valiant Banquo walked too late, whom you may say, if it please you, Fleance killed, for Fleance fled. Men must not walk too late. Who cannot want the thought how monstrous it was for Malcolm and for Donalbain to kill their gracious father? Damned fact! How it did grieve Macbeth! Did he not straight, in a pious rage, the two delinquents tear, who were the slaves of drink and thralls of sleep? Was not that nobly done? Aye. And wisely too, for 'twould have angered any heart alive to hear the men deny it. So that I say he has borne all things well. And I do think that had he Duncan's sons under his keys, as in it please heaven he shall not, they should find what 'twere to kill a father. So should Fleance. But peace. For from broad words, and 'cause he failed his presence at the tyrant's feast, I hear Macduff lives in disgrace. Can you tell where he bestows himself?
The son of Duncan, from whom this tyrant holds the due of birth, lives in the English court, and is received of the pious Edward with such grace that the malevolence of fortune nothing takes from his high respect. Thither Macduff has gone to pray on the Holy King upon his aid to wake Northumberland and the warlike seaward, that by the help of these, with him above, to ratify the work, we may again bring to our tables meat, sleep to our nights, free from our feasts and banquets bloody knives, give faithful homage and receive free honors, all which we pine for now. And this report hath so exasperated Macbeth that he prepares for some attempt of war.
Sent he to Macduff?
He did. And with an absolute not I, the messenger turns me his back and hums, as he who would say, you'll rue the time that clogs me with this answer.
And as well that might advise him to a caution, told what distance his wisdom can provide. Some holy angel fly to the court of England and unfold his message ere he come, that a swift blessing may soon return to this, our suffering country under our hand accursed.
I'll send my prayers to him.
About the cauldron go, in the poison entrails throw. Toad that under cold stone days and nights has 31. Sweltered venom sleeping gut. Boil thou first in the charmed pot. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Lift up a fenny snake, in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog. Adder's fork and blind worm sting, lizard's leg and owlet's wing. For charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth boiling bubble.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Cool it with a baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good. By the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes.
How now, you secret black and midnight hags? What is to do?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you, by that which you profess, however you come to know it. Answer me.
Speak!
Demand. Will answer.
Say if thou wouldst rather hear it from our mouths, or from our masters.
Call him. Let me see him.
Come high and low, thyself in office deftly show.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought. Hear his speech. but say thou not.
Macbeth! 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 Beware, Macduff! Beware the thane of fight! Dismiss me! Enough!
Whate'er thou art, for thy good caution thanks. Thou hast harped my fear right. But one word more.
He will not be commanded! Here's a second, more potent than the first.
Had I 3 ears, I'd hear thee.
Be bloody bold and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man. For none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macduff! What need I fear of thee? But yet I'll make assurance double sure, and take upon to fate thou shalt not live. That I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies, and sleep in spite of thunder. What is this? That rises like the issue of a king, and wears upon his brow the round and top of sovereignty.
Listen, but speak not to it!
The lion mettled, proud, and take no care, who chafes and frets or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be, until great Birnam Wood to high Dunsinane Hill shall come against him.
That will never be. Who can impress the forest? Bid the tree unfix his earthbound root. Sweet Bothman's good. Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me if your art can tell so much. Shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more!
I will be satisfied. Deny me this and an eternal curse fall on you. Let me know.
Show! 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 Show his eyes and grieve his heart! Come like shadows, show his heart!
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down. Thy crown does sear mine eyeballs. And thy hair, thou other gold-bound brow, is like the first. A third is like the former. Filthy hags, why do you show me this? A fourth, stark eyes. What will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? Another yet. Another yet. A seventh. And yet the eighth appears. Horrible sight. Now I see 'tis true. For the blood-boltered Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his. Is this so? Where are they? Gone? Let this pernicious hour stand I accursed in the calendar. Come in without there.
What's your grace's will?
Saw you the weird sisters?
No, my lord.
Came they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Infected be the air whereon they ride. And damned all those that trust them! I did hear the galloping of horse. Who was it came by?
2 or 3, my lord, that bring you word Macduff is fled to England.
Fled to England?
Aye, my good lord.
Time thou anticipatest my dread exploits. The flighty purpose ne'er is overtook unless the deed go with it. From this moment, the very first things of my heart shall be the first things of my hand. And even now, to crown my thoughts with acts be it thought and done. Castle of Macduff I will surprise. Seize upon Fife. Give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. No boasting like a fool. This deed I'll do before this purpose cool. But no more sights. Where are these gentlemen? Come, bring me where they are.
Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there weep our sad bosoms empty.
Let us rather hold fast the mortal sword, and like good men bestride our downfall and birth them. Each new morn, new widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven on a face that it resounds as if it felt with Scotland and yelled out like syllable of dolor.
but I believe I'll wail. When no believe in what I can redress, as I shall find the time to friend, I will. What you have spoke, it may be so, perchance. This tyrant whose sole name blisters our tongues was once thought honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet. I am young, but something you may discern of him through me, and wisdom to offer up a weak, poor innocent lamb to appease an angry god.
I am not treacherous.
But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil in an imperial charge, but I shall crave your pardon. That which you are, my thoughts cannot transpose.
I have lost my hopes.
Perchance even there where I define my doubts. Why in that rawness left you wife and child? Those precious motives, those strong knots of love without leave-taking. I pray you, let not my jealousies be your dishonors, but mine own safeties. You may be rightly just, whatever I shall think.
Bleed, bleed, poor country. Great tyranny, lay thou thy basest shore. For goodness, dare not check thee. Fare thee well, Lord. I would not be the villain that thou think'st, for the whole space is in a tyrant's grasp, and the rich east to boot.
Be not offended. I speak not in absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. I think withal I should have hands uplifted in my right, and here from gracious England have I offer of goodly thousands. But for all this, when I shall tread upon the tyrant's head, or wear it on my sword, yet my poor country shall have more vices than it had before, more suffer in more sundry ways than ever by him that shall succeed.
And what should he be?
It is myself, I mean, in whom I know all the particulars of vice so grafted, that when they shall be opened, black Macbeth will seem as pure as snow, and the poor state esteem him as a lamb being compared with my confineless harms.
Not to the legions of horrid hell could come a devil more damned in evils than taught Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, avaricious, false, deceitful, malicious, smacking of every sin that has a name. But there's no bottom, none, in my voluptuousness. Your wives, your daughters, your matrons, and your maids could not fill up the cistern of my lust. Better Macbeth than such an one to reign.
Boundless intemperance in nature is a tyranny. It hath been the untimely emptying of the happy throne and fall of many kings. Yet do not fear to take upon you what is yours. We have willing dames enough. It cannot be that vulture in you to devour so many has will to greatness dedicate themselves, finding it so inclined.
This there grows in my most ill-composed affection, such a staunchless avarice, that were I king, I should cut off the nobles for their lands, desire his jewels, and this other one's house. And my more having would be as a sauce to make me hunger more, that I should forge quarrels unjust against the good and loyal, destroying them for wealth.
This avarice sticks deeper and grows with more pernicious roots than summer seeming lust. Yet do not fear. Scotland hath poisons that fill up your will of your mere own. All these are portable with other graces weighed.
I have none. The king becoming graces as justice, temperance, perseverance, mercy, devotion, patience, courage. I have no relish in them, but abound in the division of each several crime, acting it many ways. Had I power, I should pour the sweet milk of concord into hell, uproar the universal peace, confound all unity on earth.
Scotland, Scotland.
If such a one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern? No, not to live! O nation miserable, when shalt thou see thy wholesome days again? Since the truest issue thy throne by his own interdiction stands accursed, and does blaspheme his breed. Thy royal father was the most sainted king. The queen that bore thee was oftener upon her knees than on her feet. Fare thee well, Lord. These evils that thou repeatest upon thyself hath banished me from Scotland.
Oh, my breast. Thy hope ends here.
Macbeth! This noble passion hath from my soul wiped the black scruples, reconciled my thoughts to thy good truth and honor. Devilish Macbeth by many of these chains hath sought to win me into his power. God above deal between thee and me. For even now I put myself to thy direction, and unspeak mine own detraction. Here abjure the taints and blames I laid upon myself for strangers to my nature. I am yet unknown to woman. Never was forsworn, scarcely have coveted what was mine own. My first false speaking was this upon myself. What I am truly is thine, and my poor country's to command.
Why are you silent? Such welcome and unwelcome things at once. 'Tis hard to reconcile.
Well, more anon.
See? Who comes here?
Country. But yet I know him not.
My ever gentle cousin. Welcome hither.
I know him now. Good God, betimes, remove the means that makes us strangers.
Sir, amen.
Stands Scotland where it did.
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother, but our grave, where nothing but who knows nothing is once seen to smile, where sighs and groans and shrieks that rend the air are made, not marked. Where violent sorrow seems a modern ecstasy. The dead man's knell is there, scarce asked for who, and good men's lives expire before the flowers in their caps, dying or ere they sicken.
Relation. Too nice and yet too true.
What's the newest tree?
That of an hour's age doth hiss the speaker. Each minute seems a new one.
How does my wife?
Why, well.
And all my children?
Well, too.
But the tyrant has not battered at their peace.
No, they were well at peace when I did leave them.
Be not a niggard of your speech. How goes it?
When I came hither to transport the tidings, which I have heavily borne, there ran a rumor of many worthy fellows that were out, to which to my belief was witness the rather, for I did see the tyrant's power afoot. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers, make our women fight to doff their dire distresses.
Be it their comfort, we are coming thither. Gracious England hath lent us good seaward, and 10,000 men. An older and a better soldier, none that Christendom gives out.
Would that I could answer this comfort with the like, but I have words that should be howled out in the desert air where hearing could not latch them.
What concern they? The general cause, or is it a fee grief due to some single breast?
There's no mind that's honest, but it shares some woe, though the main part pertains to you alone.
Be mine, keep it up from me, quickly. Let me have it.
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them of the heaviest sound that ever yet they heard.
I guess at it.
Your castle is surprised. Your wife and children savagely slaughtered. To relate the matter on the quarry of these murdered dear to add the death of you.
Merciful heaven. What man? Give sorrow words. The grief that does not speak whispers the o'erfraught heart and bids it break.
My wife. Killed too.
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
There must be from thence. My children too.
Be comforted. Let's make us medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has no children. Oh, my pretty ones. It is hell.
Run! Oh, my pretty chickens are damaged, one fell swoop! Dispute it, I command.
I shall do so. I must also feel it as a man. I cannot but remember such things were the most precious to me. Did heaven look on and would not take their part? Sinfulness, doth their all struck for thee. Not that I am. Not for their own demerits, but for mine, foul slaughter on their souls. Heaven rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger. Blunt not the heart, enrage it.
I could play the woman with mine eyes, and the braggart with mine tongue. But gentle heaven cut short all intermission. Front to front! Bring thou this fiend of Scotland to myself! With my swords like set him! If he escape, heaven forgive him too.
This tune goes manly. Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking, and the powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long that never finds the day.
I have 2 nights watched with you, but can perceive no truth in your report. When was it she last walked?
Since His Majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed. Yet all this while in a most fast sleep.
A great perturbation of nature, to receive at once the benefit of sleep and do the effects of watching. In this slumbery agitation, besides her walking and other actual performances, what at any time have you heard her say?
That, sir, which I will not report after her.
You may to me, and 'tis most meet you should.
Neither to you nor to anyone, having no witness to confirm my speech. Lo you, look, here she comes. This is her very guise, and upon my life, fast asleep. Observe her, stand close.
You see her eyes are open.
Aye, but their sense are shut.
What is it she does now? Look how she rubs her hands.
This is the accustomed action with her. Seeing us washing her hands, I have known her to continue in this quarter hour.
Yet here's a spot.
Hark, she speaks.
Out! Damn spot! Out, I say! 1, 2. Why then 'tis time to do it! Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie! A soldier and afeard? What need we fear who knows it when none can draw our power to account? Yet who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him?
Do you mark that?
The Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? No more of that, my lord, no more of that. Before all this was started.
Oh, go to. You have known what you should not.
She has spoke what she should not, that I am sure. Heaven knows what she has known.
Yet here's the smell of the blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand.
What a sigh is there! The heart is sorely charged.
I do not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body.
Well.
Pray God be it, sir.
This disease is beyond my practice. Yet, I have known those which have walked in their sleep who have died holily in their beds.
Go, wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you again, Banquo's buried. He cannot come out on his grave.
Even so.
To bed. To bed. Come. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed. To bed. To bed.
Will she go now to bed?
Directly.
Our whisperings are abroad. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles. Infected minds to their deaf pillows will discharge their secrets. More needs she the divine than the physician. Oh God, God, forgive us all. Look after her. Remove from her the means of all annoyance, but still keep eyes upon her. So good night. My mind, she is mated and amazed my sight. I think but dare not speak.
Good night, good doctor.
The English power is near. Led on by Malcolm, his uncle Stuart, and the good Macduff. Revenge is burning them for their dear causes would to the bleeding and grim alarm excite the mortified man.
Near Burnham Wood shall we well meet them. That way are they coming.
Who knows if Donalbain be with his brother?
Well, for certain, sir, he is not. There is Seward's son and many unrough youths that even now do protest of the first manhood.
What does the tyrant?
Great Dunsinane he strongly fortifies. Some say he's mad. Others that lesser hate him do call it valiant fury. But 'tis certain, he cannot buckle his distempered cause within the belt of rule.
Now does he feel his secret murders sticking on his hands. Now minutely revolts upbraid his fate breach. Those he commands move only in command, nothing in love. Now does he feel his title hang loose about him, like a giant's robe on a dwarfish thief.
Who then shall blame his pestered senses to revolt and start, when all that is within him does condemn itself for being there?
Well, march we on, to give obedience where 'tis truly owed. Meet we the medicine of the sickly wheel, and with him pour we in our country's purge each drop of us.
So much as it needs to do the sovereign flowers and drown the weeds, make we our menstruance burn out!
Ah!
What's the boy, Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus.
Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. Then fly, false thanes, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt nor shake with fear. Devil damn thee black, thou cream-faced loon. Where got'st thou that goose look?
There 10,000.
Peace,
villain. Soldier, sir. Go prick thy face and overread thy fear, thou lily-livered boy. What soldiers, patch? Death of thy soul, those linen cheeks of thine are counselors to fear. What soldiers, way-faced?
The English force, so please you.
Take thy face hence! Satan! I am sick at heart when I behold Satan, I say! Push will cheer me ever or deceit me now. I have lived long enough. My way of life has fallen into the seal, the yellow leaf, and that which should accompany old age has honor, love, obedience, troops of friends I must not look to have, but in their stead curses, not loud but deep, mouth honor, breath which the poor heart would fain deny and dare not. Satan!
What's your gracious pleasure?
What news more?
All's confirmed, my lord, which was reported.
I'll fight, till from my bones my flesh be hacked. Give me my armor.
'Tis not needed yet.
I'll put it on. Send out more horses, scur the country round, hang those that talk of fear. Give me mine armor. How does your patient, doctor?
Not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with thick-coming fancies that keep her from her rest.
Cure her of that.
Canst thou not minister to a mind diseased? Pluck from the memory of rooted sorrow, raise out the written troubles of the brain, and with some sweet, oblivious antidote, cleanse the fraught bosom of that perilous stuff which weighs upon the heart?
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Throw physic to the dogs. Oh, none of it. Come, put mine armor on. Doctor, the thanes fly from me. Come, sir, dispatch. If thou couldst, doctor, cast the water of my land, find her disease, and purge it to a sound and pristine health, I would applaud thee, to the very echo that should applaud again. Pull it off, I say, bring it after me. I will not be afraid of death and bane till Burnham Forest come to Dunsinane.
Were I from Dunsinane away and clear, profit of gain should hardly draw me here.
For him, thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our host, and make discovery and report of us.
It shall be done. We learn no other but the confident tyrant keeps still in Dunsinane, and will endure our setting down before it.
'Tis his main hope, for where there is advantage to be gone, both more or less have given him the revolt, and none serve with him but constrained things whose hearts are absent too.
Let our just senses attend the true event, and put me on industrious soldiership.
The time approaches that will with due decision make us know what we shall say we have and what we owe. Thoughts speculative, their unsure hopes, with strokes we must arbitrate. Advance the war!
The outward walls, the cry is still they come. Our castle's strength will laugh beseech to scorn. Here let them lie, till famine and the ague eat them up. Were they not forced with those that should be ours, we might have met them dareful, beard to beard, and beat them backward home. What is that noise?
The cry of woman, my good lord.
I have almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has been my senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek, and my fell of hair would at a dismal treatise rouse and stir, as a life were in it. I have supped full with horrors. Direness familiar to my slaughterous thoughts cannot once start me. Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow. Creeps in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story quickly.
Gracious my lord, I should report that which I say I saw, but I know not how to do it.
Well say, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked towards Burnham Wood, and anon methought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave!
Let me bear. I say, if you see it within, if you don't see it within these 3 miles, I'll suffer your wrath. I say to you, a moving grove.
If thou speakst false, upon the next tree shalt thou hang alive, till famine cling thee. If thy speech be sooth, I care not if thou dost for me as much. pall in resolution, and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not, till Burnham Wood do come to Dunsinane. And now a wood comes towards Dunsinane.
I'm arming out! If this which ye about to disappear, there is no flying hence, no tarrying here.
I begin to be weary of the sun, and wish the estate of the world were now undone.
Ring the alarm bell! Blow wind! Come rack! At least we'll die with harness on our back!
My cousin, your right noble son, lead our first battle. For the Macbeth that we shall win once, what else remains to do according to our order?
Fare you well. Do we but find the pirate power tonight? Let us be beaten if we cannot fight.
Make all our trumpets speak! Get them all back! The combat harbinger of blood and death! I cannot fly, but bear like I must fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Such a one am I to fear or not.
What is thy name?
Thou wilt be afraid to hear.
No, though thou speakst a hotter name than any is in hell.
My name's Macbeth.
Devil himself could not pronounce a title more hateful to mine ear.
No, nor more fearful.
Thou liest, abhorred tyrant. With my sword, I'll prove the lie which thou speakst.
Thou wast born of woman. With swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn. Brandished by man that's of a woman born. That way the noises. Tyrant! Show thy face! If thou be slain with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. Either thou, Macbeth, or else my sword with an unbattered edge I sheathe again undid it. Let me find him fortune, and more, I beg not.
This way, my lord. The castle's deftly rendered. The tyrant people do on both sides fight. The noble thanes do bravely in the war. The day itself almost professes yours, and little is to do.
We have met with foes that strike beside us.
This way, sir, into the castle.
Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword? Whilst I see lives, the gashes do better upon them. Turn, hellhound, turn! Of all men else have I avoided thee. But get thee back. My soul is too much charged
with blood of thine already. I have no words. My voice is in my sword, thou bloody avail the terms give thee up! Thou losest labor. As easy mayst thou the entrench'd air with thy keen sword impress, as make me bleed. I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born. To spare thy charm, and let the angel whom thou hast still served tell thee Macbeth, which from his mother's womb untimely ripped. Accursed be that tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man. And be these juggling fiends no more believed, that keep the word of promise to our ear, and break it to our hope. I'll not fight with thee. Then yield thee, coward, and live to be the show and gaze of the time. I will not yield. To kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rabble's curse. Till Burnham would become to Dunsinane, and thou opposed being of no woman born, yet I will try the last. Lay on, Macduff, and damned be him who first cries, hold, enough!
Or would the friends we missed for safe arrive?
Some must go off, and yet by these I see, so great a day as this is cheaply bought.
Macduff is missing, and your noble son.
Your son, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt. He only lived but till he was a man, the which no sooner was confirmed by the unshrinking station where he fought, but like a man he died.
He is dead, then.
Aye, and brought off the field. Your cause of grief must not be measured by his worth, for then it hath no end.
Had he his hurts before?
Aye, on the front.
Well then, God's soldier be he. Had I as many sons as I have hairs, I would not wish them a fairer death. And so his knell is knolled.
He's worth more sorrow, and that I'll spend for him.
He's worth no more. They said he parted well, and paid his score. Here comes newer comfort.
Hail, King, for so thou art. Behold, who stands the usurper's cursed head. The time is free! I see thee compassed by thy kingdom's pearl. Let's speak my salutation in their minds, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail, King of Scotland!
We shall not spend a large expense of time before we reckon with your several loves and make us even with you. My thanes and kinsmen, henceforth be earls, the first that ever Scotland in such an honor named. By the grace of grace, we will perform in measure, time, and place. So thanks to all at once, and to each one, whom we invite to see us crowned at Scone.
This way.